So my next guest today is Gayle Towell. She's from AIM Solder. Nice to see you, Gayle.
Glad to be here.
Okay. So we're going to talk about some of the new products you're bringing out in 2025. And I believe you've got a SAC replacement called REL61. Tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, so REL61, it's not actually a new product. We've had it for a little while. But our plans in 2025 is we really want to heavily promote this because we've been seeing a lot of customers having really good success with this alloy. Mm-hmm. It's kind of meant as a replacement for SAC 305. It's a SAC-based, lower silver, but it contains a few percent bismuth.
Right.
And what we found is that we offer it in bar, we offer it in paste, we offer it in wire, and it works pretty much in any application that SAC 305 works.
Right.
And in all the tests and studies we've done, it tends to perform better across a lot of the metrics with drop shock. It's the microstructure after aging is much better, and so a lot of people have been having a lot of success with this alloy. So
right.
You replace SAC 305 with it, you're saving costs about 15 to 20% because it has less silver content, and
yep.
anyone who's been watching the metals markets knows that silver's been going up and up and up.
Yep.
And that small amount of bismuth actually seems to strengthen the alloy and makes it perform quite well. So,
I mean, people do worry when you start putting bismuth in that because of the brittleness.
It is brittle.
But in small quantities.
But small quantities, it actually strengthens it. So when you get to like those low temperature solder alloys that have 50% bismuth, however much bismuth you put in those can tend to be quite brittle. But
right.
a few percent bismuth seems to be the sort of magic spot of it's helping the alloy and it's not hurting the alloy in the end. It's actually doing a lot of things that are strengthening it because those larger bismuth atoms can provide strength to the alloy structure.
Right, okay. And I believe this is a type 5 paste.
We offer it we offer several of our alloys. Type 4 is the standard offering.
Of course.
We have type 5 and type 6 solder pastes now, and in 2025 we're going to be promoting type 5 heavily. A lot of people are. So the industry standard used to be type 2, then it was type 3, and now currently it's type 4. Everything's getting smaller and smaller, and some people have already jumped up to type 6 or even smaller.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are getting close to that place where they need to transition to something smaller than type 4, and that's where type 5 comes in.
Right.
And we have some large customers who are using quite a bit of type 5 paste, and we're going to be trying to promote our offerings with type 5 this coming year.
Yeah, when you're using these really small components like 01005s and things like that, you really do
once
need
you
to
start getting smaller.
Yeah.
And we've talked before about the 5-ball rule is sort of how you determine when you have to go down in solder paste size. If what you're printing needs to fit at least 5 solder balls across it.
Yeah.
Once you hit type 6 and smaller, though, we do not know yet if that rule is still going to apply.
Oh,
I know
really?
I just saw a talk earlier today by Tony Lentz. He mentioned briefly that in a study he did with some type 6 paste that the 5-ball rule doesn't necessarily work, and it's an area of current investigation. Once you get type 6 and smaller powders, we're still trying to figure out how those work. Particle size distribution can also play a role in how those pastes are going to perform.
Right. Well, that's fascinating. I didn't realize that type 6, the 5-ball rule didn't work anymore.
Well, that's the other thing is it may in some cases and it may not in other cases depending upon your powder, because the IPC specifies that roughly 80% of your particles have to fall within a certain range to be a certain powder type.
Yeah.
But that leaves wiggle room. You can have a greater percentage of finer particles. You might have some larger particles in there.
Right.
So the actual particle size distribution can be a factor in here as well.
Absolutely. Wow. So the other thing that AIM is well known for is its process support across the world. So can you talk a little bit about that and how it's structured?
Yeah, we're really proud of the support we offer. Something I always tell people is this day and age, customer support is failing in so many places. I'm sure you've probably had the experience of having to call the cable company or having to call the doctor's office or something,
Yep.
and you get the phone tree from hell, and you're pushing the buttons, and you will never get a person, and then you're on hold for hours.
You tell me you have real people at the end of the phone?
We have humans answering the phone around the clock
Okay.
and around the globe. And our support team is made up of process engineers. So
Right.
we have actual engineers, not people reading from a script book to troubleshoot your problem without an understanding of your problem. So you can call them up, they're going to help you out. They can help you out over the phone, they can go to your site, help you troubleshoot your process, dial in your process. So
Right.
yeah, we brand ourselves as solder plus support because we like to say we offer really great products, but those only work so well if you don't know how to dial in process. Process is
Yeah.
a huge part of SMT.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
anything dealing with solder, as you have to adjust to the temperatures, you have to adjust all the settings on all the machines to optimize how things work.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's increasingly important because people are finding it harder to find really good, well-skilled engineers to fill a lot of posts these days. So they're relying more heavily on that support.
Exactly. Yeah.
it's
But we have very well trained engineers, and
Yeah.
we have our own applications lab in Mexico where we refine how our processes work and what we learn about process as we're developing new products as well.
Right. Excellent. Okay. That's great. Well, I mean, it's great to hear how things are structured for AIM and to hear about your new products coming out next year, or the ones you're going to be promoting, should I say, the REL61. And so thank you for coming in and telling us about that today.
Well, thanks for talking with me.